One highly visible appointee of former President Joe Biden has filed suit to keep her job. The Bureau of Prisons Director, Colette Peters, filed her appeal of what she calls a wrongful dismissal to the Merit Systems Protection Board. Peters has retained federal employment attorney Mary Kuntz, who joins me now. Mary, good to have you back.
Good morning. Happy to be with you.
And let's begin with why she is even looking to get back her job. I thought the Bureau of Prisons Director was a presidential appointee, and they all serve at the pleasure of the president.
Colette Peters is, in fact, career civil service, and so career SES, and so she has all the rights that attach to career SES.
But she did come in with the Biden administration, and, well, okay, but if she's career SES, then she is career SES, subject to Title V rights and protections?
That's absolutely right, and that's what we're appealing on to the MSPB.
Golly, and what is the process for MSPB in terms of what you expect for time? I mean, can they issue a stay like a judge can, and she's in the job, and this has happened with a lot of appointees, but MSPB could take years, right?
MSPB is a very quick procedure in general. Yeah, so we don't expect it to take a great deal of time. We're not sure. We're waiting for the judge's order right now to get proceedings started. We submitted the appeal. We submitted the termination document. We submitted proof that she's career SES. And the agency has entered appearance of counsel now. We're still awaiting an order from the judge, but it should move pretty quickly. Generally, what happens at the MSPB is that after an initial conference or just an initial order, the agency will be required to file its agency file, and then discovery will commence. We're not sure if we need discovery. We need to see what the agency has to say first, and then we'll move forward.
So you will be having your appeal then to an administrative law judge, not to the board itself initially?
An administrative judge, that's right.
And the grounds then, so what you'll be seeking then is grounds for dismissal, or at least asking the agency to state why. In this case, if it is career SES, there has to be cause for the dismissal.
So there has to be cause, and under federal law, 5 U.S.C. 3393G, a career appointee to the SES can only be fired for 5 reasons, and none of those reasons were given. I won't bore you with all of them, but fundamentally, a misconduct allegation, any of these reasons allow her to give a response. She's entitled. She has a property interest in her position. She is entitled to notice of why she's being removed and the opportunity to respond to it. The only time that an SES doesn't have this opportunity to appeal to the MSPB is in a performance-based action. But a performance-based action has to be based upon a whole careful process in which she is allowed to address the performance-based charges and respond to them. That hasn't happened. There hasn't been a misconduct allegation. That hasn't happened. The document terminating her simply cited to Article 2 Constitution. That is not one of the ways that a career appointee to the SES can be removed under federal law. So it's both that she appears to have been removed for something that is extra statutory. So we're asking the MSPB to review that. And she wasn't accorded any of the due process rights. She wasn't even given notice. There are requirements for notice that she's supposed to be given, and she wasn't given that. So we're seeking all of that, and it appears to us that the government can respond by simply asserting a constitutional claim or by saying, yes, we messed up. We messed up the way we removed her. And, what they have to do to reform that is restore her to her position.
We're speaking with attorney Mary Kuntz. She's a partner at Calajarvi, Chusey, Newman, and Fitch. And getting back to the reasons for removal of an SES, go ahead and bore us and just give us the quick version of the 5 grounds that you can remove someone in the SES.
I'm not sure I can remember all of them, but OSC can, if OSC makes a finding.
Office of Special Counsel.
Office of Special Counsel, they can make a proposal. There are misconduct claims that can be used, national security. So all of these are, and performance is a basis for removal, and it's essentially a non-appealable. There's a hearing that's available, but it doesn't really do anything but advise. Fundamentally, there are very specific reasons that you can remove somebody who is a part of the career SES. None of those were relied upon. Under 5 U.S.C. 7543, I think it is, there are procedural requirements, and none of that was followed. She simply received a notice the afternoon after the inauguration that she was removed effective immediately.
And this came via email?
Yes.
From presidential personnel?
Signed, no, from the acting attorney general, signed by the then acting attorney general.
Right. So BOP, of course, is part of the Justice Department and
right.
Kind of the country child there. Well, you're speaking for Colette Peters, then, who is now out of office. What's she doing at the moment? Is she at home waiting for the disposition of this case?
I don't know exactly what she's doing. She's being a mom. She's, I think, at a swim meet right now for one of her children. But I meant in general. She's staying in Washington, hoping for this restoration of her position. Well, she's staying in Washington because she wants to prosecute this case. Right. I'm not sure, that she's just waiting on that. I think she's probably out talking to folks about the work she's done for, decades, which is prison reform. Right. She was the prison director, I think, in Oregon before coming to Washington to take over BOP. And if you file this appeal to the MSPB, when one does on behalf of a senior executive, and one of the grounds for dismissal is performance, and that is not appealable, isn't that just an invitation to the agency to gin up things and say, yeah, well, okay, here we go. This is why she did not perform. I have no idea what they would come up with. But doesn't that, do you ever win these types of things, I guess is what I'm asking.